Happy Monday. In times of unease and confusion, it helps to have a leader come out and do something bold to tell us that life is okay and we can return to normal. It's like what your dad used to do after exiting the bathroom with a can of Lysol. Everything was now under control. Well, the greatest man in the history of the world is back. No, not him. Him. Yes, our former 44th president has given the middle finger to the CDC by inviting over 500 people to his 60th birthday party at his $12 million Martha Vineyard mansion. It's the beach house bash that shows America that there's no reason to be worried about COVID or rising sea levels. Yep, climate change and corona are officially dead, according to this news. Although I think my invite got lost in the mail or mixed up with all those love letters from Megan Fox. Apparently, the guests will be wined and dined by over 200 staffers. 200? Boy, I bet Border Patrol in Texas is green with envy. Yeah, I wonder how the wall of security at this party would take to a bunch of partygoers just showing up demanding to be let in. And I wonder if you bring a kid, you'll be let in free, just like at our border. Now, Pearl Jam was supposed to play at this party, but now they deny it. That's probably good.
Okay, come on, even flow.
Wow. They really are a thinking man's ABBA. Now, all guests will have to be tested and vaxxed, and there's going to be a COVID coordinator to make sure people follow precautions. I guess that's how Fauci got his invite. Now, this news comes amid an increase in the Delta variant and the ensuing media panic. A panic, however, that doesn't go near Obama for holding a bash during a pandemic. But I salute him and the message he's sending, which is rather than shut down your lives again, it's time to throw Fauci to the wind and live your life. Death comes for all of us, whether it's the minuscule risk of a vaccinated person gets from COVID or the giant risk of getting murdered in Portland. The real challenge isn't simply the virus, it's overcoming those who politicize this in order to divide a country. Too bad there isn't a vaccine to protect us from CNN's misinformation. But based on their ratings, it would take only about 50 doses. I wonder what the angry white male has to say.
Come on, let Barack Obama have a party, would you? I mean, what a man decides to do in the privacy of his own island mansion is his business. Of course, I wouldn't go to the party even if I was invited. Not because I'm concerned about COVID-19, but I just prefer more solitary activities. Like, I don't know, riding ski lifts alone in the summer.
You know he just dumped a body. What about the angry black male?
Sometimes when I stick my hands in the chip bags, they're so big the bag rips open. I'm sure it's a common problem, but I'm sure that's not what you're here for. So what? Speak your mind. What? President Barack Obama's throwing a party? Great. Good for him. We need more parties in this country. I also think it's great that President Trump is throwing rallies, which are kind of like parties. And I think those are great. I love the fact that our former presidents throw parties and rallies. That's great. You know what else would be some cool parties since we're on the subject of partying? How about a just the facts only CDC party? That would be awesome. I would love to attend that. That'd be easy guest list. And how about a no free money is good money party? That'd be phenomenal. We can all get back to work and pull our own weight and get back to doing the things that make this country great again. And then again, of course, there's my favorite party, the you must be taller than 5'9" to ride this ride party. Gutfeld, I know it's you sending these camera crews around me all the time. I know it's you.
5'9", that's about right. Meanwhile, other leaders are doing the same thing. D.C. Mayor Bowser was photographed maskless at an emergency wedding reception just after reinstating a mask mandate for her city. But can you blame her? It's very hard to breathe wearing a mask while doing the chicken dance. D.C. is currently averaging one COVID death a week. Experts say the city has become so criminally dangerous, even COVID doesn't want to go there. Meanwhile, who was at Lollapalooza? The worst mayor in history, if you ignore Bill de Blasio. It's Chicago's Lori Lightfoot. Despite threatening new lockdowns, she's the mayor who always looks like she just walked in on a naked Jerry Nadler. It's like she just saw something that she can't ever unsee. But if anybody should be hiding their face, it's her, given what she's done to Chicago. But I hope she enjoyed the music. If anything, it drowns out the gunfire. But times are different. Right now, we have health experts sending more mixed messages than an MRI of the president's brain. And the orders are violated by our leaders as quickly as they're given. Yesterday's censorship becomes tomorrow's fact, which I'm good with. I love seeing hypocrites in action. For what you're truly seeing is a division between the power and the powerless, as well as a new fake justice masquerading as action. It used to be that laws were for everyone, didn't matter who you are. Not so now. We now have laws and restrictions for the law-abiding only, and then no laws at all for those who don't. You could be mandated to do this and do that, but no such efforts are directed at the shoplifters, the looters, the homeless encampments populating the cities. So when there's a dramatic surge in crime, the instinct is not to go after the criminal, but to create more restrictions for people who already follow them. Imagine a fire alarm, when pulled, sends the trucks to places that aren't on fire. That is the new strategy here. It's why now, with COVID, the powerful make sweeping judgments about Americans who might have good, bad, or even insane reasons not to be vaccinated or to wear a mask. They mock them, call them stupid, call them killers. But they wouldn't dare stand in the way of a man walking out of a Walgreens with enough product to keep Jesse Waters' hair standing on end for eternity. They wouldn't dare try to get the transients off the street or the harassing panhandlers overwhelming the subways. That would take guts. So instead, they call you names. Then they throw a party. It's the Gutfeld golden rule. One enters politics to become immune to the laws one creates for others. But I say if Obama can party, so can we. It's time to be inspired by him and get back to what Americans do best, which is doing whatever the hell you want. And then later, if you're cat, waking up in your neighbor's tool shed. Let's welcome tonight's guests. We now got more cats than an unmarried white woman. Culture writer and novelist Kat Rosenfield. He gets his wardrobe from the dumpster outside a funeral home. Fox News radio host Jimmy Fallon. She knows how to light up a room like when she sets an ex's home on fire. Fox News contributor Kat Timpf. Hey. And you know he's close when your dishes start vibrating. My massive sidekick and host of Nuff Said on Fox Nation, Tyrus. Jimmy, you appear to be splattered in COVID. It seriously looks like a virus vomited on you. Where do you stand on the, I'm going to you first for that reason, because again, you are dressed atrociously.
Well, I was gonna say, shame on you and Tyrus. You're supposed to be my friends. I look like a couch that should be covered in plastic.
Yes.
Like, you should have told me this before I walked out of the Florida home wearing the living room furniture.
Yes. Whoever died in that, I don't know what they died from, but
Embarrassment.
Over 80s exposure.
yes. So where do you stand on the? It's the hypocrisy accusation is so obvious. Is there something more to it than that?
Well, I do laugh at the idea that they're going to have a COVID coordinator, is what they're calling it, which is a really fancy way of saying someone who walks around and tells you not to put anything on social media, because that's all that means. They're not coordinating like that.
That is a good point.
Like that on its face is absurd. You know, to the point of Obama throwing the party, though, the nice thing is if you do get sick of the party and you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor, which is good.
A throwback.
Yeah, there you go, old school. But did you notice, by the way, that this particular house has a private runway, which means on top of all the other hypocrisy, nobody's flying commercial to the shindig. Nobody's worried about reducing their carbon footprint. And that's the fraud of the whole thing. It goes past COVID. When you talk about Muriel Bowser and the mask thing, that's obviously absurd.
Right.
Like when she says we're all in this together, she means the cocktail hour.
Yeah.
We're all in this together. It takes forever to get a drink. This sucks.
Yeah.
But that's like the reality of who these people are. The reason we don't take any public health initiatives seriously is the people passing them don't take them seriously.
Right,
So how are
exactly.
you supposed to take any of it seriously, you know? To the Lori Lightfoot point, though, I will say when it comes to Lollapalooza, COVID's not in the top 20 things to catch at Lollapalooza. Like, COVID, if they tell you caught COVID at Lollapalooza, you're like, oh, thank God, you know?
Before I go to the new cat, not the old cat, but the new cat, I would say that Lollapalooza is that age group now. Those people are in their 50s. So the only disease they're spreading is maybe, I don't know, arthritis. You can't spread it.
A lot of passing around of doctor cards.
Misinformation.
I know. I am the king of arthritis misinformation. Kat, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Okay. I don't have a problem with the party, but doesn't President Obama, he has enough love. Does he really need to throw a party for himself?
I don't know. I think he deserves to be happy and,
Yes.
you know, to have a good time. I feel like, you know, but I mean, haven't we all earned that at this
Yes.
point? The thing that kind of fascinates me is that the way that all of this stuff is getting talked about, and even like the COVID mitigation measures, the way that those are being talked about, it's sort of like people are feeling this delusion that we have a lot more control over our own mortality than we actually do, as if like, if you catch this virus and you get sick, it's not because the virus did what it's evolved over the course of millennia to do. It's because you just didn't try hard enough.
Right.
You didn't care enough.
Yeah. No, it's a good point. It's a good point. That's why, like, I think these days, Kat, we can't understand cost and benefits or the risks of our lives. So we need to stamp out everything, which we know is impossible, clearly.
Yeah, it's impossible. We're all going to die. Some of us faster than others.
Yes.
And,
I have my money on you before me.
Oh, you know, it could happen.
Yes.
Which is kind of the point, and I completely agree with you. I just think it's really a window into why they have this attitude, these politicians who put these rules in place, being like, it's just like the just in front of stay home. It's not stay home, it's just stay home.
Yes.
Like, it's no big deal because they can just kind of put these things in place depending on what works for their own social schedule.
It's not that hard to do, Kat. It's not that hard. We were saying that on the 5 while we were still working.
Right.
Oh, just stay home another day.
Right.
But I'm doing the show from home.
I wouldn't dare because I've still gotten to work this entire time. Oh, just stay home. I think your livelihood, your life, no big deal.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant point because, you know, when you talk about accommodating their social schedule, Muriel Bowser put this mandate into effect for 7 a.m. Saturday morning.
After the wedding.
After the wedding. She was done.
But I love how they set this up like COVID is arriving by the Waze app and it has a set ETA.
Yeah.
No, it says I'll be there at 7 a.m. Saturday morning. I just got to get off of the left here.
What do you think, Tyrus? I got kind of the gist from your angry black male.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for the party. I'm excited I got invited. But every time I get on my 7-year-old or my 9-year-olds to stay in school, I can't do it anymore because they already figured it out. They'd be like, Dad, politicians argue the same way we do. Tommy's having a party. Why can't I? Like, literally, that's what we've turned into. That's the news now. Guess what the other side did today? They had fun. Everyone goes, oh, yeah? Well, you guys had fun 3 months ago. Like, that's seriously what we're dealing with now? Instead of giving us information about COVID, we're getting Barack Obama's throwing a party. President Trump did a rally. Thousands of people showed up. They were excited and happy. They did it on purpose. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Just tell the news, like, relax.
It's called fill-in content.
What he's saying is the only person we should be mad at is Fauci because he's the worst. Can we just agree?
I don't know if that's what he said.
I'm just saying, like, we just need more adults in the room.
Yeah.
Like, parties shouldn't matter. Rallies shouldn't matter. It's a variant. Give us the information. We'll take it from there.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.